The Chiefs secured their 13th victory of the season last weekend with a 15th straight win over the Broncos. And with the playoffs quickly approaching, Kansas City will wrap up the regular season with a divisional matchup against the Raiders. The Raiders are just 6-10 this season and have dropped 3 of their last 4 games, but they put together perhaps their best offensive performance of the year in last week's narrow loss to San Francisco behind a stellar outing by fourth-year quarterback Jarrett Stidham. It was the first career start for Stidham, and he certainly didn't waste it, throwing for 365 yards and 3 touchdowns. His performance helped the Raiders tally a season high in first downs and passing yards while recording their second most total yards in a single game all year. He was really impressive, but keep in mind that the Chiefs have faced Stidham before. In fact, prior to last week, his career high in total snaps was in Week 4 of the 2020 season against Kansas City. The Chiefs recorded 2 interceptions off Stidham in that game as part of a primetime victory. The Chiefs will aim for a similar result this time around after recording 2 takeaways and 4 sacks last week against Denver. Specifically, George Karlaftis now has 5 sacks in his last 6 games, while Chris Jones has 11 sacks in his last 11 contests. But in order to replicate that success on Saturday, the Chiefs' defense will need to slow down Raiders All-Pro receiver Davante Adams. Adams, who ranks 3rd among all players this season in receiving yards and 1st in receiving touchdowns, got to know his new quarterback in a hurry last week, reeling in 7 grabs for 153 yards and 2 scores. That production outpaced his receiving numbers in each of the previous 3 weeks combined, providing an emphatic reminder that Adams has to be accounted for on every snap. The Raiders have also found success in the running game this season behind tailback Josh Jacobs, who leads the NFL in rushing yards with more than 1,600. His 39 runs of double-digit yardage this season ranks 2nd in the NFL, and his 88 forced missed tackles are the most of any player in the league. It's all to say that the record may not show it, but this Raiders squad has some real playmakers who the Chiefs will need to slow down on Saturday. The Chiefs can move the football too, though, and through 16 games, this remains the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes is on the verge of some history too. He already topped the 5,000-yard and 40-touchdown mark last week, making him one of only 2 players in NFL history, joining Drew Brees, to hit those numbers in multiple seasons, and his 5,377 combined passing and rushing yards are the 4th most for any player in NFL history. With just 186 total yards on Saturday, he'll claim the all-time league record. Mahomes and the rest of the Chiefs' offense will be facing a Raiders defense that has struggled overall this season. It's the number 25 scoring defense in the league, and despite featuring one of the NFL's best pass rushers in MAXX CROSBY, they've had trouble bringing down the quarterback as a group. The Raiders have just 25 sacks as a team this season. That's 30th in the NFL, and nearly half of those, 11.5 to be exact, have been courtesy of Crosby. In fact, Crosby racked up 5 pressures against the 49ers last week, while the rest of the team recorded just 6 total pressures. Crosby is the guy that makes this whole defense go, so the Chiefs' offensive line will need to know where he is at all times. These division matchups are always interesting no matter the standings, and with the playoffs coming up, the Chiefs will look to finish the regular season strong and secure a perfect record against the AFC West as they clash yet again with one of their oldest rivals.